Good evening, everyone. Hi, Samiksha, Mazen, and Steve. How are you, everyone? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes,
Mazen,
sir.
Samiksha, and Steve. Okay, very good. All right. So, in the last class, in microeconomics, we were basically discussing the consumer's equilibrium by utility approach, wherein we have discussed that consumer equilibrium in utility approach has been classified into two categories: consumer equilibrium in case of single commodity, and consumers equilibrium in case of double commodity. So in the previous class we have only covered the single commodity case. In today's session we will be discussing about the double commodity case as well. But before proceeding with the double commodity case, we will first revise everything, then only we will proceed further with the double commodity case. All right. So if you guys have any doubt regarding the consumers equilibrium single commodity case, you can ask me. All right. So in the previous class, we have discussed basically utility of money or marginal utility of money and consumers equilibrium single commodity case. So first of all, as usual, we will first revise and then we will proceed further. All right. So concentrate. In the previous class, I have told you about the marginal utility of money. What is marginal utility of money? See, marginal utility of money is basically the utility that a customer or a consumer expect by spending one additional unit of money is called marginal utility of money. The amount of satisfaction that a consumer is expecting by spending 1 rupee is called, or 1 unit of money is called marginal utility of money. All right. And after this, we have also covered consumers equilibrium. Consumers equilibrium, wherein I have told you that consumers equilibrium and utility approach has been categorized as single commodity case, single commodity case. This basically means in case of consumer who is spending all of his income on the consumption of one commodity only, this is called single commodity case. And if a consumer is spending his income on two commodities, double commodities, then this is called double commodity case. Okay, so Alfred Marshall has categorized the concept of consumer equilibrium in two different cases. In the single commodity case, he basically gave two conditions in order to ensure whether the consumer is in equilibrium or not. We have to ensure that both the conditions are satisfied. So what are those conditions? Conditions are basically, first condition is, what is the first condition? First condition is marginal utility of the commodity must be equal to the price of commodity at a particular unit. So at any unit, if the marginal utility of the commodity becomes equal to price of the commodity, this situation indicate consumer is having equilibrium. Consumer is having maximum amount of satisfaction. And not only this condition requires to be satisfied, there is one more condition. This is basically that law of diminishing marginal utility must be satisfied. Law of diminishing marginal utility must be applicable. And what is law of diminishing marginal utility? Law of diminishing marginal utility basically states that the utility from the commodity must be declining. All right. So in order to understand the concept of equilibrium, we have also taken an illustration, and on the basis of which we have understood the entire concept of consumer equilibrium. And I think we have also learned that how can we how can we present the consumer's equilibrium diagrammatically. So we have also learned the diagrammatic presentation of equilibrium, and I have told you that in order to represent the consumer's equilibrium single commodity case, we can draw diagram something like this. We have to first draw the price curve, which will be constant, which will be parallel to x-axis, and other than this, we will also draw a marginal utility curve, which will always be a downward sloping curve. So the point at which marginal utility and price intersect each other, this point is basically called consumer's equilibrium, and the point above the equilibrium point is basically called consumer surplus, and the point below the equilibrium is called consumer's deficit. This is all we have discussed in the previous class. So first of all, we will do one more illustration based on the previous concept, and we'll try to understand it more properly. All right, so let's take one more example, and everyone pay attention to this. This is going to be a little different. We will be introducing one new concept in this illustration. All right, so assume a customer is consuming a good which is a good X, and let's assume the price of good X is, let's say, 20 rupees per unit. All right, and for customer, marginal utility of his 1 rupee, 1 unit of rupee is equals to 2 utils. All right, basically this is very important this time. In the previous class, we have considered the utility of money as 1 only. All right, 1 rupee is equal to 1 util. So when we take the utility equals to 2, how it will basically change the entire concept, we have to understand this. See, we have taken the price as 20 and we have assumed that utility of 1 rupee for customer is 2 utils. All right, now following information is given: number of units customer is consuming, price he is paying for the commodity, that is price X. After this, there is the information regarding the marginal utility of the commodity customer is driving. Marginal utility, we will write it as MUX, marginal utility of X commodity. And after this, we will take marginal utility. Achha, we will leave a column here and we will make a column for remark. All right, so you will get to know why I have left this column after a while. So first of all, we will assume that customer is consuming, let's say he's consuming 8 units of the commodity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. All right, price that he is paying for each unit is 20 rupees per unit. So 20 for the third, 20 for the fourth, 20 for the fifth, 20 for the sixth, and 20 for the seventh, 20 for the eighth. Marginal utility that he is driving from the consumption of every unit is, let's say this is 80 utils, then he is driving, let's say 70 utils, then 60 utils, then 50 utils, and 40 utils, 30 utils, 20 utils. Just a minute. Okay, 20 utils and 10 utils. All right, so considering the table, can you determine the unit at which consumer is said to be at equilibrium? At which unit consumer will be at equilibrium? At the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh, or eighth unit? At which unit consumer is said to be at equilibrium? At the 7th unit. Why
Because
he is said to be at
price
equilibrium at the 7th unit
the
only?
price and the marginal utility are same.
Correct, because the marginal utility and price are same. All right, now one more thing I want to add here, and this is very, very important. This is something that Samisha has asked in the previous class in the chat. So let's try to understand this. See what is happening here when we determine the consumer's equilibrium. When we determine consumer's equilibrium, what do? We compare basically two things. We compare the marginal utility of the commodity with the price of the commodity. All right. And you know what? What is the unit of marginal utility? Can anyone tell me? In which unit marginal utility is calculated?
Utils.
Utils. All right. And what is the unit of price? Unit of
Rupee.
in our case, unit of price is rupee. All right, rupee. So try to understand this. What we are basically doing, we are comparing two different basically two different things having different measuring unit. And what we are saying basically, when both are equal, it will be a situation of consumer's equilibrium. Basically this is like, if I'm saying that 20 utils is equals to 20 rupee, this is the situation of equilibrium. Yes or no? Yes sir, that is what you have told us until now. All right, but look closer. You will find that utility has been measured in terms of util and price has been measured in terms of rupee. And this is not the way you compare two different things. Two different things having equal value does not mean both are equal. Two different things having equal value, just because the value are equal, you cannot say both the things are same. You getting my point? What I'm saying, let's say, suppose if I ask you, if I wrote something like this, $1 equals to 1 rupee, is it correct or incorrect? $1 is equal to 1 rupee, yes or no?
No.
No.
But because here it is 1 and here it is also 1, does it mean because values are same, does it mean both the currencies are equal? Answer is no. In order to measure the currency, in order to compare both the currency, we have to convert. What do we basically do? Whenever there is comparison between two things, both need to be measured in common unit. All right, if two things are compared and having different values, different measuring unit, that would not be considered as a fair measurement, fair comparison, fair valuation. Getting my point? Basically, when two things are compared, either this should be converted in terms of dollar or this should be converted in terms of rupee, so that you can compare the value of rupee with the rupee, or either you can compare the value of dollars with the dollars. If you are comparing two different things having different measuring unit, you cannot compare those things. Either you have to convert this into dollars or this into rupees. Only then you will be able to compare the two different things. Is it clear to everyone? So see, in what we are doing in consumers equilibrium, we are basically comparing marginal utility and prices at every unit. What we are saying, in order to ensure consumer equilibrium, we have to look only at the marginal utility and price. And we are basically comparing marginal utility and price at every unit. What we are actually checking, what we are actually focused on, we are basically focused on the point at which marginal utility becomes equals to price. We will say that consumer is in equilibrium, but this is incorrect. Technically this is incorrect, because marginal utility is basically measured in terms of utils and prices are measured in terms of rupee. So what we should do in order to compare, basically for the fair comparison, what we should do, we should either convert the utility in terms of rupee or prices in terms of utility. Is it clear to everyone? See, in case of consumers equilibrium, marginal utility needs to be compared with the price, but because both have different measuring unit, so either rupee should be converted in terms of marginal utility or utility should be converted in terms of rupee, so that we can compare both the values properly. Is it clear, everyone? There is a need to convert the measuring unit in basically both units should be in common terms. This just a minute, let me show you. See what is here. The amount of the amount customer is paying for the price, paying for the commodity is how much? 20 rupees, and the amount of satisfaction is he is getting 80 utils. So what we are basically saying that because utility is greater than the price, then consumer should buy it, correct? But instead of comparing the price with the utility, we should actually compare the price with the utility in terms of money. We should convert the marginal utility in terms of money. We will convert the marginal utility in terms of money for fair comparison, because marginal utility has been calculated in terms of util, and if we compare the utils with the price, it will be difficult to find whether the consumer is in equilibrium or not. Hence what we will do, we will convert the marginal utility in terms of money, which is called marginal utility in terms of money, is written as MUM. Marginal utility when calculated in terms of money, this is known as marginal utility in terms of money, is called marginal utility in terms of money is called MUM. See once again, until now we were basically saying in order to prove consumer's equilibrium, marginal utility must be equal to price. But if we closely observe this, we will find that because marginal utility is measured in terms of utils and prices are measured in terms of rupee, there will not be fair comparison. We cannot equalize both the values because numerically they are equal. Getting my point? If here it is written 10, utility is 10, and price is also 10, it does not mean both are equal because they have different measuring unit. So what we have to do, we will basically required to convert the rupee in terms of utils or utils in terms of rupee so as to make the fair comparison. Is it clear? And what do we do? Custom says that we should convert the utility in terms of rupee. There is a custom that we will always convert the value of utility in terms of money instead of converting the value of rupee in terms of utils. Is it clear? Therefore, in the table also, what we are doing, we are converting the utility of money in terms of money. Sorry, we are basically converting the marginal utility in terms of utils in terms of money instead of converting the prices in terms of money, in terms of utils. All right. So basically prices need to be compared with the prices only. All right. So what we will do, we will convert the utility in terms of money. All right. Now tell me, what is the utility of 1 rupee in the eyes of the customer? What is the 2 utils? Listen to me carefully. If customer is saying that he will spend 1 rupee for 2 utils of satisfaction, then can you tell me if he spent 5 rupee, then how much satisfaction he will be expecting?
10 utils.
10 utils. In the similar way, if he is getting 80 utils of satisfaction, can you tell me how much satisfaction he is getting in terms of money?
40.
40. Because for 1 rupee, he is expecting 2 utils. So for 2 utils, he will be ready to spend 1 rupee. Correct? If he is spending 5 rupee, he will be expecting 10 utils of satisfaction. And if I say that I give him 10 utils of satisfaction, what amount he will be ready to give me? He will be ready to give me 5 rupee. Similarly, if he's getting 80 utils of satisfaction, then I think he will be ready to spend 40 rupees. So 80 utils of satisfaction will be equal to 40 rupees. 70 utils of satisfaction will be equals to how much? 35. 60 utils of satisfaction will be equal to 30. 50 utils will be equal to 25. 40 utils will be equal to 20. 30 will be equal to 15. 20 will be equals to 10. And 10 will be equals to 5. 10 will be equals to 5. All right. Now we will directly compare the price of commodity with the amount of satisfaction he is receiving in terms of money. We have done nothing, but we have just converted the marginal utility in terms of money only. So the amount of satisfaction he is receiving in terms of util, that is 80 utils, we have just converted it into the rupee. If he's getting 80 utils of satisfaction, it simply means that he's basically receiving the satisfaction equivalent to 40 rupees. If he's getting 70 utils of satisfaction, it simply means he's getting satisfaction equivalent to 35 rupees. And how did we calculated it? We have just basically, in order to calculate marginal utility of money, what we will do, we will divide the marginal utility of X divided by marginal utility of 1 rupee. So 80 divided by 2, 40, 70 divided by 2, 35, 60 divided by 2, 30. All right. Now, tell me, if the customer purchases the first unit at rupees 20 and he is getting the satisfaction equivalent to 40 rupees, whether he is having surplus or deficit, tell me, whether he is having benefit or loss.
Benefit.
Benefit, because he is
Benefit.
spending only 20, he's getting 40 rupees of satisfaction. It simply means he's having surplus. And in this case, or how much amount of satisfaction he is getting? 10 rupee satisfaction. In this case, 40 divided 20 rupee satisfaction. Now he is getting 35 satisfaction of 30 rupees by spending only 20 rupees. So he is having profit or surplus of 15 rupee. In this case, 10 rupee. In this case, 5 rupee. And in this case, no profit, no loss. All right. Now, after this, he will be spending 20. He'll only be getting 15 utils of satisfaction. So in this case, he's going to have loss of 5 rupee. In this case, loss of 10 rupee. In this case, loss of 15 rupee. So tell me, all of this indicate what? This will indicate consumer surplus. This is called consumer surplus. And this is basically called consumer's deficit. This is consumer's deficit. And this is called consumer's equilibrium. Consumer's equilibrium. Why it is consumer's equilibrium? Because marginal utility in terms of money, and the price he is paying, both are equal. All right. So this also proves that marginal utility is equals to Px. This also proves that marginal utility is equals to Px. Is it clear, everyone? See, why we haven't drawn this column in the previous class? Because we have assumed that marginal utility of 1 rupee is equals to 1 utils. So if you calculate the marginal utility in terms of money, this will give you the same answer if we have assumed 1 rupee is equal to 1 utils. Therefore, we did not draw this column in the previous class. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes,
Anyone
sir.
having doubt?
Yes, sir.
So let me make it clear one more time. See, in this question, we have assumed that customer was purchasing good X, for which he is paying 20 rupees, and the marginal utility of 1 rupee is considered 2 utils in this case. For customer, 1 rupee is equal to 2 utils. All right. So basically, customer is consuming 10 units of the commodity, and the prices he is paying 20 for each unit. Marginal utility, I have presumed that he is getting 80, 70, 60, 50, and basically these are the values. Now basically we have to calculate the consumer's equilibrium, but in this case, because marginal utility of 1 rupee is equal to 2 util, what we have to do, we will have to basically draw one more column in order to convert the marginal utility in terms of money. Why there is a need to convert the utility in terms of money? Because utility is measured in terms of util and prices in terms of rupee. We cannot compare both these values, and we cannot say because value wise both are equal. Because value wise both are equal, it does not mean both are actually equal. Because value wise both are equal does not prove that both marginal utility and prices are actually equal. So in order to ensure whether consumer is in equilibrium at the 7th unit or not, we have to draw the marginal utility in terms of money, which is called MUM. And in order to calculate MUM, we apply this formula. And what is the formula? Basically, we divide the marginal utility in term divided by the one utility of 1 rupee. So 80 is divided by 2 utils, 70 is divided by 2, 60 divided by 2. So we calculated this value, and we can clearly see at the 5th unit, marginal utility and price both are equal. Hence, consumer is in equilibrium at the 5th unit instead of 7th unit. He will not be at equilibrium at the 7th unit. Rather, he will be at the equilibrium on the 5th unit only. All right. And the point above the consumer's equilibrium indicate consumer surplus, and point below is consumer's deficit. All right, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's try to understand this concept once again through the slide. Then I will explain you the double commodity case. See, this was the example I have taken in the previous class. In this case, we have assumed the price of the commodity is 10 rupee, and commodity X is basically the consumer is consuming good X, and marginal utility of 1 rupee in this case is only 1 utils. All right. So consumer is basically consuming 6 unit of the commodity. Prices are taken as 10. Marginal utility is 20, 16, 10, 4, 0, minus 4. All right. So because marginal utility of 1 rupee is equals to 1 util, then when you convert the marginal utility in terms of money, it will give you the same answer. So therefore, in this case, there is no need to draw this particular column. If we draw this column or not, it will not affect our answer. Why it will not affect the answer? Because marginal utility we have taken here is 1 util for 1 rupee. All right. So whether you draw this column or not, you will get the same answer. That is, consumer is said to be at equilibrium only at the 3rd unit. All right. Now let's assume this case. In this case, price of commodity is 5, commodity is X, and marginal utility of 1 rupee is 2 utils this time. So in this case, let's assume customer is consuming 9 units of the commodity. Prices for each unit remain same, 5 rupee, 5 rupee, 5 rupee. All right. And marginal utility I have taken as 40, 30, 24, 22, 20, 10, 5. So you can clearly see here that marginal utility is continuously declining. Hence, law of diminishing marginal utility is applicable. All right. Now, because in this case, 1 rupee is equals to 2 utils, therefore, we have to draw this column. There is a need to draw this column. Getting my point? We have to draw this column. This is, in this case, this is not optional. It will be mandatory to draw this column. Why we will draw this column? Because we need to convert the utility in terms of money. All right. So see, because 1 rupee is equals to 2 utils, hence we have divided marginal utility by 2 every time. 40 divided by 2, 20, 30 divided by 2, 15, 24 divided by 2, 12, and so on. So if you see this column and this price only, if you see this column and this price only, you will basically see that consumer will be at equilibrium at the 7th unit. At the 7th unit, price is paying 5, and the amount of satisfaction he is getting is also 5. So you can say that at the 7th unit, consumer is at equilibrium because price and utility both are equal. But when we convert the utility in terms of money, then we can clearly see that consumer is not in equilibrium at the 7th unit. Instead, he will be at equilibrium at the 6th unit because marginal utility in terms of money is actually equals to price of the commodity at the 6th unit only. So below the 6th unit, it will be consumer's deficit because utility is less than the price. And above this, it will be considered as surplus because utility is greater than price. Okay, so is there any doubt? Anyone, Peer, Steve, and Samiksha, Mazin? Do you guys have any doubt understanding this?
No, sir.
All right, so you basically understood why there is a need to calculate the marginal utility in terms of money. You will calculate marginal utility in terms of money only when marginal utility of 1 rupee is greater than 1. Let's say marginal utility of 1 rupee is equal to 3, 2, 5, anything, then you must draw the column of marginal utility in terms of money. All right, Samiksha, is it clear? Because this was your doubt and I have
Yes.
especially covered this question because you have asked the doubt.
Yes,
So is
sir.
it clear to you? Okay. Now moving on to the second case, second commodity, double commodity case. See, double commodity case is simple. Now because we have understood the concept of single commodity case very well, so it will be much easier for us to understand the concept of double commodity case. See, in this case also, in order to prove consumers equilibrium, Alfred Marshall suggested two conditions. He said, wherein a consumer consuming two goods is said to be at equilibrium if the following two conditions are satisfied. If the following two conditions are satisfied, and the conditions are: number one, ratio of marginal utility from both the commodities must be equal to the prices of both the commodities, that is MUX upon MUY equals to PX by PY, or we can also write it as MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY. And the second condition is law of equi-marginal utility must be applicable. So for the time being, we will ignore the second condition. All right, we will try to basically prove the first condition. We will try to understand what the first condition is saying. All right, so in order to understand this, let's understand this on the notebook. Okay, so according to double commodity case, there are also two conditions. In case of double commodity as well, two conditions needed to be satisfied. First condition is that ratio of marginal utility of both the commodities, because there are two commodities, so we will write it as ratio of marginal utility of two commodities, two goods, must be equal to the ratio of prices of the two goods. All right, so let's assume two goods are good X and good Y, good X and good Y. All right, and utility which is derived from good X is called marginal utility of X, MUX, and utility which will be derived from good Y is known as marginal utility of Y, MUY, marginal utility of Y. Similarly, price of good X, price of commodity X will be called PX, price of X commodity, and price of Y good will be called price of Y, that will be called PY. All right, so what the first condition is basically saying, first condition is basically saying that ratio of marginal utility of both the commodities. So ratio of the marginal utility of both the commodity, how we will basically calculate the ratio of both the commodity. We will write it as marginal utility of X divided by marginal utility of Y. This will be called ratio of both the ratio of utility of both the commodities. This is utility of commodity X, this is commodity utility of commodity Y. So when we write it as MUX upon MUY, it is called ratio of marginal utility of both the commodities. And what condition is basically saying? Condition is saying that ratio of marginal utility of both the commodities must be equal to ratio of prices of both the commodity. So how can we calculate ratio of prices of both the commodity? We will write it as PX upon PY. All right, so when the marginal utility of X commodity divided by marginal utility of Y commodity equals to price of X upon price of Y, this is basically called equilibrium. This is basically called, this is the first condition in double commodity case. In simple terms, we can simply say that ratio of both the commodity, ratio of utility of both the commodity, when becomes equals to the ratio of prices of both the commodity, it is called the situation of equilibrium. All right, so let's take an example to understand this concept. Let's assume the marginal utility of X commodity. Customer is having, let's say, 60 utils of satisfaction from X commodity, and price he's paying for X commodity is less, let's say 30 rupees. All right. And marginal utility from Y commodity, he is getting, let's say 120 utils, 120 utils, and price he's paying for the commodity is 60. So when we see the price of commodity Y is greater than the price of commodity X, and the amount of satisfaction customer is getting in case of commodity Y is also more than the commodity X. So in order to prove consumer equilibrium, we have to basically convert this into the equation. Just a minute. So what is the equation? In order to prove consumer's equilibrium, equation is marginal utility of X commodity upon marginal utility of Y commodity. It should be equals to price of X and upon price of Y. All right. So in our example, we have considered marginal utility of X is 60. Marginal utility of X is 60. So we can write it as 60 upon, what is the marginal utility of Y? This is 120. All right. And price of X is how much? Price of X is 30 and price of Y is 120. All right. Now what we will do, we will simply calculate the final value. 6 divided by 12 equals to 3 divided by 12. So this will be 1 upon 2 and this will be 1 upon 4. So answer here will be 0.5, and in case of this it will be 0.25. All right. So tell me, if both the sides are equal, marginal utility ratio of utility of both the commodity is equal to the ratio of prices of the commodity, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no. See,
Sir,
that-
the question you are told that it's 60. The can you show the question again?
yeah, this is the question. So is there
Oh,
anything?
for BY 60.
Achha, okay, all right. This is 60. Okay, so this is 60. If this is 60, so it will be 1 upon 2. All right. So 1 upon 2 equals to 0.5, and this is also 0.5. Okay. So both the sides are equal because ratio of utility of both the commodities equals to 0.5, and ratio of prices of both the commodity is also 0.5. Hence, consumer is in equilibrium. So basically, in case of double commodity, it is said that ratio of utility of both the commodity must be equal to the ratio of prices of the commodity. All right. And we can also write this equation as applying simple mass, mux upon muy, right? And px upon py. So what we will do, we will write the similar terms on the similar sides, on the same sides. So we can write it as mux upon this px can be written here. It will be written as mux upon px, and this can be written as muy upon py. Can we write it as like this or not? Can we write this equation like this, yes or no?
Yes, sir, we can.
We can write this. So basically, in order to prove consumer's equilibrium, ratio of utility from both the commodity must be equal to ratio of prices of both the commodities. Or you can also say that the amount of satisfaction per unit of money in case of good X, must be equal to the amount of satisfaction per unit of money in case of good Y. Both should be equal. That is, satisfaction against 1 rupee in case of both the commodities should be equal. If let's say if consumer is spending, what was our example? Our example was basically customer was spending 30 rupees, 60 by 30, 60 utils of satisfaction from commodity X, and amount he is spending 30 rupees, and from commodity Y he was getting 120 utils of satisfaction, and price he was paying basically 60 rupees. So in case of good X, how much satisfaction he's getting against 1 rupee? If he's spending 30 and getting 60 utils of satisfaction, can you tell me how much satisfaction he's getting against 1 rupee? If he's spending 30 rupee and getting 60 utils of satisfaction, so how much satisfaction he's getting against 1 rupee? So in 1 rupee, he's getting 2 utils. And in this case, 60 rupees is being spent on the commodity and he's getting 120 utils of satisfaction. That means he is getting same amount of satisfaction in case of commodity Y as well. So instead of saying that ratio of both the utility of both the commodity must be equal to the ratio of prices, we can also say that when marginal utility of both the commodities against 1 rupee becomes equal, it is a situation of equilibrium. When customer is receiving same amount of satisfaction by spending 1 rupee or 1 unit of money from both the commodities, then this situation indicate consumer's equilibrium. Let me repeat this. Either I say that ratio of marginal utility of both the commodities when becomes equal to ratio of prices of both the commodities, this situation is equilibrium, or else I can say utility derived from both the commodities when the amount of satisfaction against 1 rupee in case of both the commodities are equal, this is also the situation of consumer equilibrium. So I can say it the other way, or like this. I can say that ratio of both the commodities, utility of both the commodities equals to ratio of prices, or else I can say the amount of satisfaction against 1 rupee in 1 rupee in case of both the commodities are equal, then consumer is said to be at equilibrium. All right. So let's take one more example. And here you will have to identify whether consumer is in equilibrium or not. Please write this down. Let's assume price of commodity in case of X is, let's say, 20 rupees per unit, and price of Y commodity is rupees 50. Good X from good X amount of satisfaction that customer is receiving is 80 utils. 80 utils, and amount of satisfaction that customer is receiving from Y commodity is equals to 200 utils. Tell me whether the consumer is in equilibrium or not. So prices of both the commodities are given, utility of both the commodities are given. So in order to prove consumer equilibrium, you just have to ensure that MUX upon PX gets equals to MUY upon PY. If both the sides are equal, then you will say that consumer is in equilibrium.
Yes, sir.
Is everybody able to calculate this or not? Mazen, you're getting the answer or not? Peer, Steve, you're able to find the answer or not?
Yes.
Okay, so whether consumer is in equilibrium or not? Mazen, whether consumer is in equilibrium or not?
Sir, we should do the sum, or you're asking the answer?
You should answer. Tell me the answer.
Okay.
You are calculating.
What, sir?
Are you calculating this question?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then calculate and then tell me.
Okay.
Peer, what about you? Peer Mohammed. Consumer is in equilibrium, Peer, or not? Peer, tell me you are able to
Yes, sir.
solve this question or not?
1 minute, sir.
See, in order to prove consumer equilibrium, we just need to calculate that both the sides must tally. Marginal utility of X commodity divided by price of X commodity equals to marginal utility of Y commodity divided by price of Y commodity. So in this case, marginal utility of X commodity is how much? 80 utils. All right. And price of X commodity is how much? Price of X commodity is rupees 20.
Sir, they are in equilibrium.
They are in equilibrium. All right. And in case of Y commodity, this is 200 utils, and price of Y is, let's, okay, 50 utils, 50 rupees. So when we divide 80 by 20, we will get 4 by 1 or simply 4. And here we will also get 4. So both these sides are equal. So we will say consumer is in equilibrium. Consumer's equilibrium is achieved. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes.
Read, is it clear to you also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So one more question. Let's evaluate your understanding. Suppose in this question, price of commodity is 5 rupee for good X, and price of commodity Y is rupees 15, good Y. Utilities are given. Utility for, let's say, good X is 50 utils, sorry, 50 utils, and utility from good Y is 60 utils. So you have to tell me whether consumer is in equilibrium or not. Solve this question and answer the question.
No, sir. It's not.
No,
in-
sir, they are not in equilibrium.
No. So how we will calculate this question? We will simply apply this formula mu x upon px equals to mu y upon py. If both are equal, then we will say consumer is in equilibrium. All right. So in case of commodity X, what is the amount of satisfaction customer is getting? He's getting 50 utils of satisfaction. And for commodity Y, he's getting 60 utils of satisfaction. All right.
Will
But
be
the
4,
price,
10.
just a minute. But the price he's paying for commodity X is rupees 5 only. And for commodity Y, he'll be paying 15. All right. So in this case, he will be getting 10 utils of satisfaction from 1 rupee. And in this case, he'll be getting 4 util satisfaction for 1 rupee. 60 divided by 15, we will get 4 by 1. And 50 divided by 5, we will get 10 by 1. So clearly, in this case, consumer is getting, can you tell me consumer is getting satisfaction, more satisfaction in which good X or good Y?
Good X.
Good X. He's getting more satisfaction in good X because for 1 rupee, he's getting 10 utils of satisfaction in case of good X. And for 1 rupee, he's getting 4 utils of satisfaction in case of good Y only. So can you tell me which good he should consume? Which good he should prefer? Commodity, good X. All right. So always remember that in case of double commodity, consumer is said to be at equilibrium when mu x is equals to px and mu x upon px equals to mu y by py. But it is not necessary that consumer always achieve equilibrium. If consumer is not in equilibrium, there may arise two situations. Just like in case of single commodity, there are also two consequences. Number one, mu x upon px can be greater than mu y upon py. And in this case, second consequence can be mu x upon px is less than the mu y upon py. Is it clear? So because what this indicate that customer is having more amount of satisfaction by spending money on good X, as compared to the amount he is spending on good Y. And what this situation indicate? This situation indicate that consumer is having more satisfaction when he spend his income on commodity Y instead of spending his income on commodity X. So what happens in such a situation where when he is having more amount of satisfaction from the good X, so he will continue to consume good X. He will continue to consume good X. Until which point he should consume good X? Until the marginal utility of good
Is
X
equals to.
MUY. Correct. When marginal utility from both the commodities against per unit of rupee is equal, till that point he should prefer commodity X only. And what if marginal utility of commodity Y is greater than the marginal utility of commodity X against 1 rupee? Then in this case, consumer should keep on consuming more of commodity Y. He should continue to consume more unit of good Y till which point? Till the point he achieves the equilibrium, till the point at which MUX upon PX, sorry, PX equals MUY upon PY. Is it clear, everyone? This is a little difficult as compared to the the consequences part is difficult as compared to the single commodity case. But overall, this double commodity case, if you have understood the single commodity case properly, you will find it a little easier. So the basic requirement of double commodity cases is that utility of both the commodities should be equal against 1 rupee. If against 1 rupee customer is having equal amount of satisfaction in case of good X and in case of good Y also, then we will say that consumer achieves equilibrium. But what if it does not happen? Then there may arise two situations. Either he will be getting more satisfaction against 1 rupee in case of good X, or he will be getting more satisfaction against 1 rupee in case of good Y. And if he's getting more satisfaction in case of good Y, he will prefer good Y, and he should prefer and consume good Y till he achieve the equilibrium. And similarly, if he's getting more satisfaction in case of good X against 1 rupee, then he should continue to consume good X until he achieves the equilibrium. So Peer, Samiksha, Steve, and Mazin, is everything clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Alright.
sir.
Now this was basically the first condition of consumer equilibrium double commodity case. The second condition is that law of equimarginal utility must be applicable. Law of equimarginal utility must be applicable. See, in the single commodity case, we have also, I think we have covered two conditions in that case also, but the conditions were a little different. In that, in single commodity case, we have just said the marginal utility of X commodity should be equals to price of X commodity. All right, and there was the second condition, law of diminishing marginal utility must be applicable. So in this case, there is a different law. This is called law of equimarginal utility, and we will learn about this law in the upcoming classes. So for now, you just have to remember the name, that in case of double commodity, there are two conditions in this case as well. First condition is that marginal utility, a ratio of marginal utility should be equals to the ratio of prices, or we can say that marginal utility of both the commodities per unit of money should be equal. All right. And the second condition is that there must apply law of equimarginal utility. So you, for the time being, you just have to remember the name, that in case of double commodity, there is a different law which is applicable, which is called law of equimarginal utility. All right, everyone. Mazin, Peer, Samiksha, and Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
see, based on the topic that we have covered in the consumer's equilibrium, I think I have shared an assignment. It was multiple choice question. Have you attempted any of those questions? Have you received the assignment yet?
No, sir.
You haven't received it. Okay. All right. So I'll ask the
Sir,
team to. Yeah.
But then should I receive?
You have received the assignment. Okay. So I'll ask my team to share the basically assignment concerning this chapter, regarding this chapter. So try to attempt all of those questions regarding which are specifically based on the utility approach. The assignment also contains the questions based on the indifference curve approach. So for the time being, you are not required to attempt those questions. If the questions are shared with you regarding the indifference curve approach, you are not required to attempt those questions. Try to attempt questions regarding the utility approach only. All right. So I think we have covered everything in the utility approach. First of all, we have started this chapter that with the meaning of consumers equilibrium. Then I have told you that there are two approaches to understand the concept of consumers equilibrium. We have started the utility approach, right? And in utility approach, we have covered the meaning of utility, total utility, marginal utility. Then we have covered law of diminishing marginal utility. After that, we have understood the relationship between the total utility and marginal utility. We have also drawn the diagram. And after that, we have covered in the previous class, we have covered the utility of money and consumers equilibrium single commodity case. In today's class, we were discussing the double commodity case. And in case of double commodity, I have told you that there are also two conditions. First is marginal utility of both the commodities must be equal against 1 rupee, one unit of money. And the second condition is that law of equi-marginal utility must be applicable. So for the time being, you just have to remember the name. We are not required to get into detail of what is the law of equi-marginal utility. That is actually not part of syllabus. If there is a requirement to explain this concept, we will cover this concept in the separate session. So don't worry about this. All right. So this is it for today. We will be starting a separate unit in the next class. We will be discussing about the indifference curve approach, consumer equilibrium. All right. So do you guys have any doubt? You want to ask anything before ending this session? We will be starting, we will be taking 5-minute break, and then we will start our accountancy part. So do you guys have any doubt regarding the concept we have discussed in
No,
today's
sir.
session? Peer,
No.
what about you? Peer?
No, sir.
Okay, Mazen?
No, sir.
Steve, do you have any doubt, Steve? Steve never see anything. Okay. So thanks a lot. We will take a break of 5 minutes. Then we will start our accounting part, and we will continue with the accounting equation. This is going to be the last class for accounting equation, hopefully. All right. So let's take a break of 5 minutes. Then we will continue.